Okay, everybody, welcome, welcome. It's been quite a few weeks, months of really navigating through this very unexpected, unprecedented time in our lives and in the education and chinuch of our children. Um, really, so many of the guiding philosophies that you've heard us talk about year after year, or even just this year, if you're a new parent, in Gan Chamesh, really through this lens of this new reality take on so many different meanings. It's really unbelievable. And tonight, I guess, as a culmination of all the learning that has gone on, not only in our classrooms, but in your home classrooms, we just wanted to recap by, first of all, applauding you as parents, really giving you the biggest yashikoach in jumping on board and doing the impossible and the most amazing job in the continued chinuch and education of your children. So really kol hakavod to you guys. And now we just wanted to just leave you with some inspiration as the summer comes, just to basically give us an opportunity to just show you how a slight change in the way we present things to our children, in the way we introduce different daily, everyday routines to our kids could become a meaningful learning experience. Hopefully you've seen this throughout the year in our classrooms and in your communications with our teachers. Hopefully you've seen it in our virtual classrooms and how you've seen it implemented. But hopefully tonight you'll really get very easy, fun ideas as to how to implement learning into your everyday moments and routines. I mentioned that our philosophies really now, through this lens, take on a whole different meaning. We always say in Gan Chamesh that you are our partners. Now more than ever, that means that truly you parents have been our partners in finishing off this year of learning for your children. So that has taken on a completely different meaning that we never even imagined could be possible. Words like hands-on, experiential, real-life experiences, which is what kids learn from, meaning what's going on now in terms of the hands-on activities and learning and the real-life experiences, that learning we couldn't have never even imagined. And Reggio, which our Reggio Emilia philosophy that we always talk about, and which is really a guiding inspiration for all of us in Gan Chamesh, their driving philosophy is that a child has three teachers. We always talk about this, that it's the teacher is the teacher, the parent is the teacher, and the environment is the teacher. And how true is it now that not only are we mowers the teachers, not only are you the parents, true hands-on teachers, but the environment is really the child's teacher, and that it became such a reality. So tonight, we're going to hear from our phenomenal, amazing staff, our creative, inspirational, dedicated moras who have truly gone above and beyond in every possible way to just give everything of themselves for the children. And they're going to show you how, through the summer, you can twist things around in your daily routine to inspire them and encourage your children to grow and learn emotionally, intellectually, creatively, even socially, believe it or not, somehow, of course, spiritually, and of course, learning how to be resilient children and human beings. So our teachers are going to teach you, are going to talk to you about how to incorporate real life lessons into your everyday. So just as a quick overview, every teacher is going to give you some hands-on, creative, easy ideas, touching upon different parts of education. One big one that I wanted to just highlight is a day at the end of our Gan Chamesh school year that is such a highlight for our children and our teachers, which is mess day. Now, we don't want to scare you with the word mess day and with that telling you that we're going to have a mess day, because we have enough mess in our lives right now. But part of what two of our teachers tonight will give you some ideas and tips as into how you can create your own meaningful mess day, or your own even clean mess day, or a very involved family mess day. So that is something that is going to be a highlight, that we're not delegating an official day for it as we usually do, but that you can incorporate into your family in any way that you see that it will work. So we are going to hear from Maura Ettel, who will give us some ideas about how to incorporate routines and organization into your days, which is taken directly from her classroom. Maura Chaya Rechel will give you some ideas on sensory activities and play. Maura Tamar will give you some ideas on art, creative open-ended art activities. Maura Rachel will give you some ideas on literacy and how to incorporate that into meaningful learning experiences with your child. Maura Laura will give you some ideas on math thinking, mathematical thinking for your children throughout the day. And Maura Miriam will give you some ideas on how to invite your children into the kitchen with you and create a meaningful learning opportunity while you prepare your breakfast, lunch, and supper, and all the millions of snacks that you are preparing in between. So let's go ahead and start. So we invite Maura Ettel to please begin and share with us.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. So routines, schedules, organization, it's very different for everyone. Don't be scared off by things like that, because we all have routines in place already. When you go to a shop, you have a routine. You take your car keys, you go into the car, you go shopping, you get your stuff, you come home. When you're going to cook, you take a clean pot, you put your food in, you add your water, and you cook. Those are routines, those are systems. You're not going to take a dirty pot to start. And if you leave your keys at home every single time because you forget them, that's the system you have in place. So everybody does have a system. The question is, what's the most successful systems? And we need to set ourselves up for success. And as Marsusi already said, the environment is the third teacher. And that's true everywhere, wherever we are. And you have to choose what works for you, for your family, and for your character. Routines are calming for everyone. Knowing what's coming, knowing what's going is really comforting. Now, everybody's used to a routine at night to go to bed, getting undressed, brushing your teeth, saying Shema, whatever it may be. But what about starting the day? How can we set the day for success? Set the tone correctly. What your body tells you in the morning is how you're going to start your day. It's time for action. If we stay in pajamas all day, our body didn't realize that it's time to switch over. So we can eat breakfast, daven, get dressed, etc. Everybody does that in different orders. So let's talk a bit about some cleaning up routines. It can be fun. It can also be overwhelming. Imagine all those toys over the floor. What do you even do first? What about when you make a big party in your house and everything's left over? It's much easier to go to the couch, read a book, and ignore it all. But it won't get cleaned up like that. What makes it more manageable is to break it up into small tasks and have teamwork. When you're doing it together with your child, when you have someone doing it together with you, it's much more manageable. And make it fun. Some ideas are, put one hand behind your back, pick up the toys. What does it feel like to only clean up with one hand? Pick up all the toys that are green, blue, purple. Play freeze dance. You can only pick up the toys when it's time to dance. Put on a pair of binoculars, see what you can find. We have found in the classroom how important it is to take the emotions away from cleaning up. This is a factual thing that we need to do right now. It's not about you, it's not about me. There's a few things that we've found success with. Number one is this timer. Mine's in school right now, so I just printed a picture. The timer is read for however long you put it on for, and the children slowly watch the time until time's up. Let's say you want to say how much time is left to clean up. Now the children see us turning this, but it's non-emotional. When that timer goes, it's not a discussion, it's a fact. Another exciting timer, which is one of the oldest in the books, are sand timers. Now this timer, if you can see here, actually is a 5-minute timer. What if you can race against the timer? Can we clean up before it's finished? And if there's a lot of toys that day, what about turning it over and see if you can do it twice? Now, believe it or not, children really like cleaning up. They like having jobs. They like feeling big about it. Now, it does take longer. to have them clean up, to have them help. But how independent, how responsible will they feel? And if they feel responsible, if I'm responsible, if I can own it, then I feel big. Now, in the classroom, we have easy access to paper towel, to baby wipes, to tissues. They're at the children's height. Yes, spills happen. And yes, by mistake, the marker got on the table. And that's okay. They're children, but we're set up ready for it. Now, as expected as routines are, and as important as it is how great it is to throw a surprise in. But you can only throw a surprise in if you have a general routine. So all of a sudden, in the middle of playing, everybody stop. Let's have a family group hug. Or let's have a dance. Or let's stop for a second and everybody see how fast we can drink a cup of water. All of a sudden, the dynamics change, and then everybody goes back to play. It's so exciting to clean up. And instead of saying things, you can just sing them. It's really exciting, and we never know what's coming next because you're choosing a different tune and making up your own words. And what about if you choose to have breakfast for supper? Make a break-in routine, make it exciting, but you can only do that when you have a regular routine. Now, talking about routines and schedules, it's very important that if you choose to change something, that you only do one thing at a time. And then you can add as you change. Now, we're all a family. We're a family in school, we're a family at home, and we have responsibilities to each other and for each other. We have a job chart in school. We're a family in our classroom. We have jobs that change every single week. You can have daily jobs at home. You can have weekly jobs at home, and everything needs to be age appropriate. But wow, what do the children feel like with those responsibilities? So let's talk for a minute about visual schedules. So one kind of schedule you can make is a daily schedule for what time of day things are, and you can take photos of your children actually doing these things. Can you imagine they look at this? Wow, that's me. That's so exciting. Another kind of thing that you can do is have a dry erase board. Take your marker, write what you want something to be. Here, I just chose for the morning. These are the things that we have to do in the morning before an activity, or before we start baking, or before we take a ride around the neighborhood. So it doesn't matter what order. These were just printed from Google. You can do anything like that with a whiteboard. But you know something else that's super exciting is for children to have their very own clipboard. This makes you powerful and important. With your own clipboard, you can write things that need to be done here, whether it's jobs, whether it's 5 things that need to be done before bedtime happens. You could check it off. Or if things need to be done in a certain order, first we do this, then we do this, and etc. Now for other jobs, let's change it up. I have cups. I'm going to take my Sharpie marker and write on it things that need to be done throughout the day. And as they get done throughout the day, they can be piled up. We're done for the day. We can have story time now. What about you do something else one day? You put inside it papers. This one, when I take this job to do, it might say, I get an extra 3 hugs today. What about on Friday before Shabbos, if there's a treat in the cups for everybody? Something else that the children love doing is building. Take blocks of any sort, write on it a job, or take a piece of paper and stick it on. And as they've done each job, or as they've accomplished in the morning, they're davening, they're getting dressed, they're brushing their teeth, they're eating their breakfast, done, we're finished, and we built it up. So I hope you learned a few things here tonight and choose something that will help make your days and your summer much smoother. But remember, the ideas are endless, but the key to your success is choosing one thing at a time.
Thank you so much, Moretto. That was fantastic. So many valuable ideas to creating meaningful routines. We're going to move on to Mordechai Rachel from the Blue Room, who, like I said, will give us some inspirational ideas for a very hands-on mess day, if that is what you want in your house, or just for sensory fun in your house. Go ahead, Mordechai Rachel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to wish everyone a very happy, healthy summer. We wish Gan Chamesh would never end, but it's coming close to an end, and that means that summer fun is about to happen. What I want to show you tonight are a few very easy and fun activities to do. But before I start that, I know that some people will just dive into a mess of full clothes. Some people will dive into a mess with their rain boots or their bathing suit. But some people are a little bit standoffish when it comes to slimy, gooey, messy things. So what we've learned over the years is not to say like, oh, you don't want to touch it. That's okay. That's okay. Let's try something else. Give them an alternative. An alternative might be to put on some gloves, and then you can touch the ooey gooey things with gloves on. An alternative might be to give them a paintbrush so that their paintbrush gets the sensation and they feel like they're getting involved, but their fingers are not getting involved. And what we've seen as moras is that children that started off with just gloves or a paintbrush, by the time the year ended, they didn't even realize that they were getting their hands involved. So it was just a very wonderful process to see. So I'm going to show you a few things that are just fun, easy, full of summer. And feel free to Google some more or to reach out to the moras. There are probably 1,000,001 ideas for the children. Now, we know that in Gan Chamesh, mess day is the hated day of the entire single day. And it's a little bit bittersweet that we're not having mess day in Gan Chamesh, but it's okay because we're going to have mess day right here. So the first thing I wanted to show you, I learned this from Mora Susie, was bath time painting. All you have to do is take a disposable or a non-disposable muffin tin. You're going to fill it with shaving cream, mix some food coloring. It's completely safe, it's non-toxic, and the children just take a paintbrush and they can paint the walls of the bathtub, they can make ABCs, they can mix the colors to see what red and yellow might make, and they can just have so much fun with a little tin. This does not even have to be specific bath time, it could just be painting time in the bathtub. You don't get more clean than that. You just rinse it all away with the bath water. So this would be our bathtub painting fun. Another one of my favorite bath time activities, which is so easy to make, is to give the children toys hiding in ice. What you're going to want is some sturdy toys that might not be wooden so that the water won't ruin them. So we have toys hiding in ice right here, and the children can see how the ice floats on top of the bathtub. And when they're done, by the time the bath is over, the toys pop out of the ice cubes. And this is just so easy. I just used a plastic bowl, some toys and water, froze it overnight. Here I have another one, a little menchie, a little car, and it just makes bath time so much fun. And it's so clean because it's done right in the bath. So much fun. The next thing I wanted to show you is my bowl of ice. This literally keeps my children busy for hours. I kid you not. Shabbos afternoon, when it's really, really hot outside and we can't turn on any electronics, we can't do games that have muktzah, I will give them a bowl with ice cubes, a spoon, and they pour it from bowl to bowl. And sometimes we even add some spices to it. And it's just so refreshing on a hot summer day to be able to touch ice cubes and play with them and pretend that you're cooking with the ice cubes. So that is another messy yet clean activity that you can get involved with. My next activity I want to show you, this did not freeze well, I really apologize, but this is also super duper fun. I'll tell you what's inside. It's just water and food coloring. That's it. It's not meant for eating. What happens is if it does freeze properly is that you can pop them out and use them as water. So this could be for again. My children use it, they paint on it a little bit and make light colors. You can put in a block and make, it's non-toxic. I wouldn't suggest the children put it in their mouth and color up their tongues, but if they do, it's okay. This is just food coloring and water. The next activity I wanted to show you was this super delicious cloud dough. The things that I'm showing you tonight are 90% of these things you have at home. So it's not any fancy ingredients like those 3-layered kugels or 3-layered gefilte fish. It's just ingredients that you have at home that you can whip together and make these just awesome, fun activities. So this is called cloud dough. I've never felt something delicious and so soft ever. And it's a dough that the kids can shape and mold, and when they roll together, they can shape it into ABCs and olive base, so that could be a good review. And the only 2 ingredients you need for cloud dough is any cheap conditioner. Dollar Tree is my best friend when it comes to this. And cornstarch. It's 2 parts to 1 part. We will, at the end of this Zoom, be able to share with you recipes and ideas. So if you do have any questions about how much, what's the amount, you can just reach out to your mower of your room and we will get that information to you. So it's conditioner, cornstarch, you mix together to become this delicious, delicious cloud dough. I do want to tell you the experience that I have with this cloud dough is that it does get very crumbly after the first use. So this is one dough that I would not store in the fridge to use again for the next day. When you're done this, it's in the garbage, goodbye, kids had a great time, and that's the point. The next thing I want to show you is, this is just so awesome. It's kind of a science activity where you would mix some cornstarch with some water. Now we're going to get a close-up. This is why this is so cool. This is a solid when you knock it, hard like a rock. But then you can dip your finger in, kind of like quicksand, and if you lift it, it drips like water. So that's pretty awesome. Solid and liquid, and have some fun with it. If you're afraid that the house will get messy, guess what? It's summertime. Do it outside. You can wash it all down after, just cornstarch and water, that's all it is. And my next activity is going to be something that makes the Blue Room smell delicious. Whenever anyone walks past the Blue Room, they're like, oh my goodness, what's cooking in here? What's baking? It's not anything baking or cooking. It is our very famous chocolate Play-Doh. So what we would do is we would make regular Play-Doh, flour, oil, salt, water, and we would add a nice amount of cocoa powder to make this delicious, delicious smelling Play-Doh, which you could use again for the next day if you do refrigerate. And again, this is for playing. They can make pretend cookies. It doesn't taste very good because it has salt, no sugar, but if the kids do put a little crumb in their mouth, it's okay. It's just food items. And again, they can roll it out to make any shape or any letter that you're trying to teach them. And then I wanted to mention two more quick activities before we go to the next Nora. This is just the easiest thing. Get them in a bathing suit. You spray paint your whole porch, and you just have to paint after. You spray paint it with this shaving cream. Get the whole porch full of shaving cream, and then just let them pretend that they're painting with shaving cream. And I think that was it. And then I wanted to just mention also the most famous ever, has to be 100 years old, this activity, is the famous car wash. Get them in their bathing suits, get some sponges, get some rags, get some soap, and let them car wash your car. It'll keep the family busy. Doesn't matter what age the children are. The parents can get involved. I want to wish you a happy, healthy summer. Have some fun. Get messy. Put those gloves on or do them without gloves, but get the children involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marachaya Rachel. Inspirational. I'm ready to get into the mess. We're moving on to Mora Tamar from the Yellow Room, who will continue with some art ideas that we can incorporate into our daily routines and activities and extend them to a mess day type of activity. Go ahead, Mora Tamar.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm like sitting there. I want to take notes on what everyone else is saying. There's so many great ideas here. We wish we were in a different environment, but this is such a nice alternative to see some of you guys. So mess could be scary, but I got everyone covered. I have you from very clean to very messy, and we could do it in a slow process. Outside, doing messes outside is really helpful because there's no mess inside your house. So we'll start from the cleanest and then we'll get to messy. So something everybody has in your house are Ziploc bags. Throw up paper in it, paint. It's like actually it ends up being a really good sensory activity and artwork all at once. So you can keep your kids occupied, really clean, done, mess in a bag, done. You could also have, if you have containers like this, pop on a cover, throw in marbles, put paint, shake it up. Also, awesome, clean, no mess artwork. Then we have, if you don't have those, you can always throw it in you could always get a container like this, roll up a paper, throw it inside, put your marbles in it, put rocks in there, shake it up. The kids just love seeing all the different creations that come out of the same exact thing. They put the same paper in, the same paint, same rocks, different art. It's awesome. It's exciting. They shake it up for hours. It keeps them occupied. No mess. So there's a few other things that you might have at your house, like chalk. So these are great outside activities. If you take chalk, you could just get painter's tape, put random shapes, take it off. You'll see them. You could do geometric shapes. You could do letters. practice letters, write their name. So exciting for them to see their name on it. Add water. That's like a whole new level of fun when it comes to chalk, just adding water, and you've got another few hours of them occupied just because of water. You could draw it out, get them to have rocks, fill it in, loose parts. So much to do with just your chalk that you already have in your house, a lot of people. If you have colorful tape, also super easy. Let them go at it. It's a great fine motor activity and it keeps them busy. They create random art with lots of different color tapes. No mess. So now that we did no messes, we're gonna get you a little messier, but not too messy yet. So if you could go on a nature walk with your kids, your family, pick up some twigs, some rocks. These are great things to paint on. They're different textures, they're interesting, they come out differently. You could glue on them, you could paint on them, the kids love it. I picked up some rocks. You could make funny faces. You could make fruits and food, add it into a dramatic play area. You just got some, you didn't have to pay for your apples and all those things that they're gonna play with. You just got yourself more activities that they could add on by just painting on it, and it's there, so it's like even more exciting for them. You could just let them paint random things. It's just fun for them. Added rocks, put in your garden every time they pass, they see the rocks. It's just a fun new alternative for them. We also have for you like sculptures. You could use these twigs. One second. Once you paint them, you could paint them different colors, each one, and then you can make some sort of sculpture. You could do it out of crayons. You could do it out of anything that you have in your house. Find it, see what you have in your house, and try to create what sculpture you guys could create. Toilet paper works for this. It's amazing. Don't throw out all those toilet papers. They're not garbage. They could turn into lots of amazing creations if you just give it to your child to try. They'll figure it all out for you. Give them some markers, some crayons. They got it under control. We also have bottle caps, also not garbage. These bottle caps could be like tons of art. Just save up your bottle caps and you could create lots of amazing different types of art with your kids. Just bottle caps. You have it in your house, just need to save them and you got it all covered. Okay, now we're getting to messy. I know it's scary, it sounds scary, but literally it's one of the best days in Gan Chamesh, mess day. Kids request it, they would want to have it every day if it could be. I love it, it's super fun. So we're gonna get a little more messy, but it's, you know, you could do it outside, so you don't have to clean up. Tablecloths work great, throw that on the floor, easy cleanup once it's done. So first of all, you could go shopping in your kitchen, or the Dollar Tree also works really well for this, for just random types of utensils that are super fun to just paint with. Like you have these in your house, they're old, you wanna get rid of them anyway, just give it to your kids. They're gonna love it. They'll spend hours on it with the painting and stuff like that. You give them regular forks, cups. They're all great items. You have spray bottles. We've been cleaning a lot with this Corona. Save them, don't throw them out. These spray bottles, your empty soap bottles, all different amazing activities, ways of squeezing out paint, just keeps your kids busy. They just love these things. You put food coloring in it with a little water, you got yourself a few hours. Like just send them outside. They're gonna be the happiest kids ever. Spray bottles, they feel like they're cleaning, they feel like they're in charge, they love it. You can literally spend hours on just that. Okay, now we have gloves. If you put paint inside, there's paint in here, you put a little hole in it, they could squeeze it. Another really fun activity, a different way of repurposing your gloves. They love it. Water balloons. This one's getting a little messy here, guys, but it's super fun. If you put paper down on your driveway, you could even just do it on your driveway, especially if it's water paint. Put paint inside your water balloons, let them throw it on the floor, creates great splatter art, super fun, so exciting. It's just a great activity. All your kids would love it. Everyone could get involved. You could have you can make a mural on your driveway with paint and water balloons and your kids will love it and everyone will spend hours just having fun. Another thing is kids love, as you must know, painting their bodies, markers, they come covered. So sometimes it's good to just give them an opportunity to do that in a clean way, in a way that it's waterproof and it actually comes off. So you can make your own DIY body paint. Literally, they could paint their whole body, keep them outside, they'll have a blast, they'll think it's the funnest thing. You could explain to them that this is specific paint for your body so that they know it's only paint for their body that you're giving them. And it's a great opportunity for them to be able to experience. They love painting themselves. It's super fun and your whole family can get involved also and they'll have a great time. Another activity is put water and soap, or if you have bubbles, food coloring, tie a bunch of straws together, you create bubble art. It's awesome. It looks super cool. The kids love it. They get to create bubbles. It's really a great opportunity. And the last one I have for you guys today is that if you do, it's an activity you could do as well. Put on some music, go outside, put on a piece of paper on the floor, freeze dance with your kids, but put paint on the floor. Let them put their feet inside. It's a different sensory activity that they don't usually get to use. It's not their hands, it's their feet. It's a whole other thing. It's a whole it's different type of experience. They get to put on music, play it, let them dance on the paper, freeze. They'll shut off the music, they'll freeze, and then they get to just continue to paint, see the creation that happens through their freeze dance. It's a great fun activity. Your whole family get involved. It could be freeze dance, paint outside party, and they'll all have a really great activity to do to keep your kids occupied and busy over the summer. I hope you all enjoy your summer. We would love, we love sending pictures. Send pictures to all of us. We'll love to see them, how you take Gan Chamesh into the summer, and we wish you all well and hope you guys stay safe.
Thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you. That was so fun. I'm excited to just go get covered in paint from head to toe. But don't get scared. If it's just going to be their gloves, that's fine too. We're going to move on to hear from Mara Rachel from the Purple Room, who's going to share some ideas on how to incorporate literacy activities with our children. Go ahead, Mara.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, nice to see all of you. I feel like I'm not as exciting as all these amazing art activities. However, exposing your children to ABC and Aleph Bays and books could be exciting and fun. And right now I'm going to show you that you can do it in an easy way, non-stressful way over the summer in practically every room in your house. And I'm going to right now start with, your child needs a workspace just like I have a workspace. I have my little Purple Room classroom. They might need their own little area to work in. Either it could be at the dining room table. Mora Etzel did suggest the clipboard. Truthfully, I do not have a clipboard in my house. But your child, if your child has a clipboard, they definitely empowers them. A folder where they can put their drawings. When you want to give your children different color paper so they can color. And you want to give them colored pencils. You want to give them markers. You want to give them opportunities for them to draw pictures. Okay, but when they draw the picture, what are you going to be doing afterwards? You're going to say, oh, Zahava, what did you draw? What is your coloring about? What did you just make? She'll dictate to you. You might then want to then make a book out of it. So you can either write the words on a piece of paper, or my friend Zahava or Michal might want a Purple Room book of different pages. In a book, you always have these pages of construction paper all stapled up. They can color, they can create a book, white, purple, have all these things ready for them so they can create something, draw something, and that is also starting with the reading readiness. Another activity, besides having their own workspace, they might want their own knapsack, something for them to have that they can use at all times. When it comes to the kitchen, where you're very busy cooking, you might want to give them an aluminum tin full of beans, rice, it could be flour, it could be cornstarch, and you can use bananagrams and have them find all the letter A's, all the letter B's, see if they can form their name. After they find the letters in the bananagrams, in the beans, they might be able to find their names. Another cheap way in the kitchen is paper plates. I mean, R for Raquel, hey, R for Mara Rachel, have them find an R, and to match, you can put it out and play a matching game. Another thing to do is cut the piece of paper, cut the paper plates in half. And you have the letter A, and then they have to find the other letter A. And this is all done just in the kitchen and in a non-threatening way that you can go over the ABCs, the alphabets. Another thing to do in the kitchen or the den would be just playing with magnets. And here I have alphabets magnets. Children love to play with magnets. They can try to form their names. If you have the ABCs, the children in the older grades, they can write their names. They can just find all the A's, find all the B's. These are all just exposure to the children. When your children is in the bathtub, you might want to give them ABC sponges. How much fun is it for them to find an A for Adina, an A for Adira, a B for Benny, an R for more Rachel or Raquel, and then they can squeeze it and play with it. And besides that, they do, if I recall, I haven't done this in a long time, I'm like 20 years beyond this, they have these like markers for the bathtub. Let them see if they can write their names. Put the stencils in the bathtub. It could be so much fun for them to do. Of course, we can use these sponges outside for them to play with, outside for them to play and find their letters and look for the letters outside where they have their water tables where I see with the children in my class, or to play in their little pools. It's very, very nice. Besides all of that, the coolest thing that Maura Susi sent to me was, I did not get a chance to go to Variety, was these pool noodles. If you have those long pool noodles in Variety and you cut it up and you use a paper towel roll and you have the kids' names, then they're able to follow the pattern and then write their name. I was like completely blown away from this. This was completely going into my file. It was like, wow. So this is something that A, you can do as patterning, and if you're not doing letters, B, you can do it with letters of finding your name and see if you can follow, and all the children would love to build and do an activity like this. So this is very, very cool. Another thing is just print out your children's name. They can decorate it. Here I printed out Michal. They can decorate around the name. They can circle their name. They love doing it. Their name is the most special thing in the world, and it should be. Here I took Suri's name. You can cut it up. You can have them see if they can make their name, spell their name, use it for the paper towels, for the pool noodles. Another thing is, if it's a Hebrew letter or an ABC, take the shin, take any letter, let them decorate it, put little pastas on it, put little beans on it. Doesn't have to be messy. You can just clean it up right afterwards. The goal here is for the children to be exposed, have exposure to all the letters in a non-threatening way. They can paint it, they can put things on it. My favorite thing, if you all know, I love books. Love books. And my favorite author is Eric Carle. And one thing is that, you know, children love to be read to. And sometimes when you read books to the children, you choose different books sometimes. But it's also very cool to just choose one author sometimes. And a lot of times that author has a theme. And one thing I've learned about Eric Carle, here we got The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Here we have The Lonely Firefly. He's very into spring season. He's very into insects. You can talk about, hey, look what he's into. Not only that, you can talk about his painting styles. Hey, look at the way he paints. Can we copy the way he paints? Can we do things like that? It is very, very cool sometimes just to choose an author. Another thing when it comes to Eric Carle, he likes to repeat himself. And you want to choose books that is repetitive so that the children can then learn sight words and then they can start learning how to read. Another book of mine is Does a Kangaroo Have a Mother Too? And here the children, especially in the purple room, know this by heart already. And they're able to tell you, some of them, just like me and you, they're able to know the book by heart just from sight words. And if you choose books that have sight words and that are repetitiveness, children start to learn how to read. And having the ABC all over and having books and choosing a time to read to the children brings so much exposure to literacy. My favorite activity in the purple room is felt boards. And a way that I extend the literacy is by using my felt boards. And Brown Bear, what do you see? Eric Carle was not the author, but he was the illustrator. And the children know that in the purple room. And when you use felt boards, that's an extension. The children then use their verbal language to express themselves, to talk about the book. And this is a great tool. If you ever need a Hanukkah gift, if you ever need that Afikoman gift, you ever need that bribing gift, it is a felt board. Definitely a felt board. Children love it. I want to wish you all a wonderful summer. And just remember, whatever you do is okay. And you are doing a wonderful job. And it's been a privilege to be with you all here tonight. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for that amazing inspiration with incorporating literacy concepts. We're going to move on to Laura from the Red Room, who's going to talk to us about incorporating math thinking and math concepts into our daily routines with our kids. Welcome, Laura.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here and so excited to show you how you can bring math into every room in your house, to every activity. Moretzel stressed how a schedule is very important. And I firmly believe in a schedule. When kids know what to expect, it builds them for a more successful day. And obviously this is a very hard time. And there are going to be times during the day where it's just your child is having a difficult time with what you want them to do. So instead of making it into a fight, we can make it into a more enjoyable time. So throughout this whole time, when we've been at home, some parents have said to me that the thing that makes it hard for them is they don't have a printer or they ran out of ink or something like that, that they can't print things out. So the things that I have are things that I even found in my house, and my youngest child is 13, so it's not, with so many things in it, childlike. But the first thing I wanted to show you, we're going to use a simple deck of cards because they have numbers on it, and Jenga blocks. And basically what you're going to do with your children is first you will show them the numbers. So here we have the card, and on this one we would show them the number 2, and then we would count with them 1, 2 to show them that there are 2 diamonds. And then this would be in a line, and then we would put it down. And then they would count out 2 Jenga blocks. 1, 2. And they could do that for all the number cards. There's the number 3, where we would show them the number 3 and then count 1, 2, 3 diamonds. And we could count the 1, 2, 3 Jenga blocks. And you can go all the way from the number 2 to the number 10. And that's just with a deck of cards. And I use Jenga blocks, but you don't have to use Jenga blocks. You can use any toy or anything that you have in your house that you want to play with. Now, some parents have reached out to me that even breakfast time has become a struggle. They don't want to eat what you're giving them, or they don't want to eat when you're giving them. So what a great idea if we can bring math into the kitchen and get them to eat their cereal at the same time. So I have here Fruit Loops, but you could choose a healthier cereal. And I have a muffin tin. So inside my muffin tin, or if you don't want to ruin your muffin tin, you could do it in cupcake holders and then put the cupcake holders in the tin. I have drawn the numbers 1 through 6, but then in addition to the numbers, for each one, I drew how many dots. So for the number 1, I put 1 dot. For the number 2, 2 dots, and so on and so forth, all the way to the number 6. Now, if you want to make it even more fun, you can use 2 trays, and then you can go to the number 12, and so on and so forth. And then I have my bowl of cereal, and I have my spoon. And basically, you could ask your child to count out their cereal as they're eating it, before they're eating it. So let's say we'll do it before they're eating it. So they'll take 1 piece of cereal and put it in the number 1 cup. Then they could take out 2 pieces of cereal and put it in the number 2 cup, and so on and so forth till they fill up their whole thing. And then after you use clapping hands for them and so proud that they were able to fill up all of their sections with the cereal, they'll want to eat their yummy, delicious breakfast. Now, let's say we're playing inside or outside on a hot day. We could take different size cups, because here I have a little one, here I have a medium-sized one, and here I have a big one. So we're teaching the children sizes of small, medium, and large. Now, guess what? The Yiladim are going to think that it's so interesting that a different amount of spoonfuls of water it will take to fill up each one of these cups. So either outside or inside, you could take your cup of water and count how many spoons it takes to fill up your small, medium, and big cup. And if you want, you can do this activity outside or inside. I put mine inside a tin so that we could keep it all inside. Now, Mara Etzel also mentions about cleanup time. The Yiladim in the red room love to clean up. The Yiladim in the red room, when we clean up our magnet tiles, we don't just throw them in the bin, because that's no fun. They usually don't fit that way. We either sort them by shape or we sort them by color. So if you're playing with a game in your playroom, you could first sort all your different toys. I made mine on this piece of paper, which is small, but you could take an oak tag, you could take something large, and here I just put different color stickers to show. Here we'll put the red toys, here we'll put the yellow toys, here we'll put the blue toys, here we'll put the green toys to make cleanup a little bit fun. And like I said before, we can either sort it by shape or we could sort it by color, but it's just math fun. We can sort it by size. We could sort it to see what things are the same and what things are different. Just today, we were playing a donut matching game, and the Yiladim's faces lit up when they saw 2 donuts that were the same, and they laughed when I put up 2 that were different. We also can use patterning. Now, depending on the age of the child, they could either follow my pattern or your pattern that you're going to make for them, and you could give them toys and they can match red over red and then yellow over yellow. You could take it one step further and ask your child, say it with them, red, yellow, what do you think will come next? And you could even give them their own piece of paper or ask them to add to yours and give them the same stickers and let them make their own pattern. It's endless, endless fun. You also can sort tzedakah. In the red room, we love to end all of our Zooms by doing a mitzvah. And with tzedakah, you could sort it in 2 different ways. We either can sort it by color, meaning you see it? The pennies are like a copper versus the dimes and nickels and quarters are all silver. Or you could sort it by coin and make a pile of pennies and a pile of nickels and a pile of dimes. Everything that you would have at home, but just so that we reinforce the concepts that we've been exploring all year, the concepts of patterning, the concepts of counting, the concepts of same and different, the exploration of building. How tall can you build it? How many blocks can you build something high before it's going to fall down? And the whole general idea is just to make math fun so the children are exciting about it. And everything you're doing, you really can, make it into math. Even if you're baking something with them in the kitchen, you have a smaller measuring cup and a bigger measuring cup. You have things that are a liquid and things that are a solid. Everything that you're doing every day, whether it's inside or outside, is endless math fun. I hope everyone enjoyed and have a great night. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maura Laura, for inspiring us to incorporate mathematical thinking in our daily lives with our children. We're going to move on to some fun in the kitchen, food preparation with Maura Miriam, and including our children in that. So Maura Miriam from the orange room, please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And the reason why I love this subject that I'm talking about is because we all spend a lot of time in the kitchen, especially lately. So sometimes we dedicate different timings, different times for the kids to bake with us or to cook with us. But sometimes we can invite them and provoke them to explore the kitchen in a safe, supervised way. So, first of all, cooking with children can be a little bit messy, but if we instruct them and sometimes we need to come to terms that it's going to be messy, but it's also going to be a learning experience, and they're also going to learn, and they're also going to be able to know and explore their capacities and how we trust them in the environment of the kitchen. So to start with, it's very important to teach the children safety around the kitchen. There's things that are going to be completely off limits, like the stove, like, mommies know, what kind of things are going to be off limits in terms of inviting our children into the cooking and prepping process. And it's very good to lay out the rules in a way they can understand. First of all, is hygiene. We're gonna wash our hands because before we touch our food, we need to make sure that our hands are clean. The second rule should be that they always listen to mommy or the grown-up that is cooking with them. And all questions are welcome. Why is the cucumber green, mommy? Why are you putting 2 teaspoons of butter, mommy? And make them feel like they can ask you questions. That's very important. The rules, you can display them in the refrigerator as a visual, but you can read it to them when you're ready to, when you're inviting them or when you are setting a specific activity for baking, for cooking, for prepping. I want to start with one of my favorites, and it's because I start my children in my kitchen with this type of activity, and is the washing of the vegetables. That's how they start. So I let them have a vegetable. I prefer something, that they can hold with 2 hands, a vegetable, a potato, a cucumber. And then after they wash and they, learn the process of opening the faucet, rinsing it out, washing and drying, then you can introduce a peeler. Peeler sometimes for toddlers, like if you get something with a handle that they can grab on it, it's easier. And like if you choose a large vegetable or fruit, it's easier for them for the movement. This is a great fine motor skill, but it's also something that they can do right next to you, and that is a safe thing to do. The next thing that I personally like to do is to introduce them to measures. That's a fun way to introduce them to math also. So you can have fun, colorful, or just, whatever you have in your house, measuring cups. And when it's time to make the rice, instead of you making the measurement for your pot, you can call your child. Oh, come son, help me measure 1 cup of rice. Let's measure it together. Also, rice is a wonderful sensory activity. So if you're gonna make rice and they put their hands inside, that's okay. You can always wash it off. I mean, that's according by my rules in my kitchen, but that comes up to all the mommies at the end. Measuring spoons with water. Again, you're gonna make a cake and you're measuring your oil, you're measuring your water. Let's measure together. You know, what's the difference between 1 cup, then a half of cup of water, or whatever you guys are deciding to do. Measuring spoons as well are very fun to use in the kitchen. They're very inviting and they're very safe. When you're making your challah, let them sift the flour, let them touch and explore, because sometimes things can be very intimidating for a toddler in the kitchen. But if you introduce it as a safe way, then it's gonna become not only a tool, but it's also gonna become as a learning aid. Whisking is great for them to make their own snacks. If you're making eggs in the morning, you can crack the eggs and show them how we look for black spots, and then you can give them the task of whisking together, and that way they learn on how to whisk, not to whisk so fast because it's gonna splatter all over the kitchen, but they will learn control over doing this little task in the kitchen with you. One of the things that I love about inviting our children into the kitchen in a safe way, not in a way that is stressful for us mommies. I feel that like when we're getting ready for Shabbos is not the right time to call our children, our little toddlers, and ask them to help us with this type of task. But when you decide that it's a good time, and you can invite them, because as mothers we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and it's a beautiful environment where we learn about what foods do we eat, and what's healthy for us to eat, and the things that we can, how we transform ingredients into foods that are into food in general. I would recommend also a few books that you can read about the kosher kitchen in our aspect. I like this book. It's called I Keep Kosher. Inside, it shows you read. I mean, you can read to the kids about how they pretend be cooking in their toy kitchen, but it also talks about how mommy does it in the kitchen, or how the restaurant do it in their kitchen. So this is a great tool. This one it might be a very unpopular, but I believe that we need to trust our children and teach them the proper skills that they're gonna need to be successful in life. And peeling an apple, cutting an apple or a cucumber is something that is gonna be very helpful for you. So we start with not a very sharp, plastic knife, and you can give them a task. Sweetheart, please cut the cucumber for your snack. Please cut the apple for your sister's snack, and involve them and give them that responsibility so they can feel they're in charge, and they also are contributing to the household. After your child is old enough, I'm not talking about orange or red or purple age, but maybe by the time they're with Mora Chaya Racho, with Mora Chaya Racho, she teaches them a lot of independence. By the time they're with Mora Etel, they're already pouring their own water and preparing their own little snacks. So I'm talking about for those ages, Mora Chaya Rachos and Mora Etels, Mora Tamar's age. They're gonna be able to go to a different type of knife, again, only with supervision. I know it looks a little bit scary, but as soon as you feel that your child is ready for the task, introducing something like this can be beneficial for their self-esteem, and also for their skills, for the future. So also, I wanna talk about something else. Sometimes the kids don't have any interest, and maybe sometimes you're busy. So have accessible in your kitchen, if you know that your children are gonna be around you, some pots that you don't use, some real. I want to make that I want to make an emphasis on that. Let them play with real utensils and real equipment that you have in your kitchen. Obviously, there's going to be in a safe way. A cutting board to make maybe some music, or a cutting board for them to roll some Play-Doh, or to sift some salt on top and then write on top of it. There is many ways that you can incorporate, that you can invite your children into the kitchen in a non-stressful way for you mommies. And I hope this was helpful, and we wish you an amazing summer, and can't wait to see you next year. Bye.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for that wonderful description of activities, baking, cooking in the kitchen. It really is so helpful and so informative. And thank you to all of our Moras, the Gan Chamesh Moras, who are an unbelievable resources and team of people. I wanted to review and summarize, but there's no way I can, because there was so much information that was given to you tonight, and we hope that it was helpful. One of the points that I would like to touch on is something that Miriam mentioned, which is your children's self-esteem. There is so much going on. This is such a stressful, difficult time, not normal, really, just something that is unexpected, and we're figuring things out as we go. And I think that all of you as parents should really feel the pride in that, that what you are seeing and what you're doing with your children. And I think that as we face challenges, we're always unsure, and we want to stay focused on as much positive as we can, as much routine, like Maura Etta was telling you, and incorporating all these different ideas into what hopefully will be a beautiful, health-filled summer, where everyone can experience the joy of summer in good health, but focusing on your children in terms of being positive, giving them the words of encouragement, giving them the opportunities to explore, because in their explorations, in their experiential learning, they will feel good about themselves and feel positive as they learn and create and develop. And we hope that you found this helpful and useful. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your Moras. And we hope you all have a beautiful summer. We hope you enjoyed this segment of bringing Gan Chamesh home for the summer. And as you all know, we are always available, even if it's summer. And thank you for being partners in your children's education, chinuch, and opportunity, giving to us the opportunity to be part of your families. Thank you so very much for joining, and have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Bye.